Welcome to my virtual lesson reflection video. My name is Ryan Cho, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. What went well? I think I added a lot of personal touches to my video, and I'm sure I'm going to continue to do that throughout my virtual lessons and any other lessons that I give. Um, and that the one thing I think stood out a lot was the introduction. I had just a little snippet of music, of Spanish music, and I very much plan on doing that in the future with my classroom. So I think that was just something that worked really well. I think that really got the attention of my peers, as well as I think it'll get the attention of my students. Um, I also think I kind of had very good structure to my lesson, especially given that it was a grammatical lesson. I think that could sometimes not be so easy to follow, but I think I did a pretty good job with that. Um, I also think that my tone and my ability to speak kind of playfully was good. It kind of makes it a little bit easier to watch, a little bit easier to understand um, with for students especially. I think some things that I could work on. I think that a lot of time I speak kind of quickly, and a lot of the videos that I watched for my peers, they took the time to really speak slowly and very clearly, and I think that's something that I need to work on, especially in virtual lessons, because those are something that people can, of course, people can just kind of rewind, but sometimes it's hard to hear, and I guess it's also applicable to, an actual face-to-face given lesson, because as much as I could go back and repeat things, it might be kind of hard for people to follow. So that's something I think I need to work on. Of course, my captions weren't always in line, so I tried to fix that the best I could as well. Um, but other than that, I think I did a pretty good job. Not too much else I think I need to work on, so to speak, with a lesson, with a virtual lesson specifically. Although I will say, kind of going back to the speed thing, especially as someone who speaks Spanish and who's trying to teach Spanish, I think learning to slow down is very important, especially as a Spanish speaker, because people who speak Spanish tend to speak very, very quickly, and I'm sure I will do the same thing, being someone who already speaks quickly in English. So I'm going to remember that in the future. Some other things that my peers did really well that I want to, also do in my videos. Um, a lot of them had very nice fonts and a lot of great images. Like Dylan had so many just awesome images, and that kind of like kept it going. Helps intrigue me more. So that's something I might try to do more. It's a little bit harder to do with a grammar lesson, but I will be sure to add images to other virtual lessons I do. Um, Emma, who had another really great Spanish video. I liked her fonts a lot. Her presentation was very, very colorful and creative. She also had a really cool, at the end of each part of her video, she had what she called las propinas, which means tips, and she added little snippets of extra advice for her students so that they might not get lost or that they could use extra help. I thought that was really, really, really great, and that's something that I think I want to go ahead and incorporate into virtual lessons I do, maybe even face-to-face lessons. Um, what did I learn about virtual learning that can help me in the future? I think, first of all, I learned how prevalent it is. Sometimes I don't really think about it. A lot of my classrooms weren't really flipped, but in college, I've seen a lot of the videos that are online. I mean, I don't always. Granted, there are some videos that I don't always have to watch, but I learned in some classes that I'm in now, I've actually learned that they're really, really helpful, especially when you have people who speak clearly and slowly and take the time to go through it all. And that was very, very evident in the videos that I got to see from my peers. So that's one thing I learned that will definitely help me in the future. I think if I ever or I have the capability or the ability to do a flipped classroom or anything with online virtual lessons, that I'll definitely speak clearly and take the time and go through everything um, and make sure that my point is really coming across. Other thing, like kind of going back to what I was saying about the prevalence, I guess I didn't understand how easy they are to follow and how helpful they are and how prevalent they really can be in a class. Granted, this is kind of biased because it's a technology class, but I think having experienced all the other videos, how prevalent they can be and how helpful they can be in every class. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. Just closing remarks. I think virtual lessons are helpful in any setting, in any kind of lesson. You just have to kind of take the time and go through everything, be clear, and it will help you and your students for sure. Like I said, they can be helpful for any type of class, just as long as you take the time and go through everything. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.